Yes, so here's a little review. We have like this whole number, a decimal, and then numbers after the decimal. And we're just going to think about what these different place values would be. Of course, this is in the hundredths place value. Then we have tens and ones, all whole numbers. Then we have our decimal, and then afterwards we have tenths, and then hundredths, and then thousandths. And of course you could keep going on, but we're just going to focus on these for right now. So we're going to be working on rounding decimals. So the largest place value that we're going to really focus on right now is the ones place. So that is right here. And then once again, after that we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths.
And that would be like the whole number. Like if you ever see something that says, round to a whole number, it's talking about things to the left of the decimal rather than to the right, because the right is less than a whole number. Everything to the left is whole numbers and beyond. Really big whole numbers.
So, if I say round to the closest hundredth, which place value is going to be affected? Hopefully you're looking at the number 9 right there, up in flames. So, if we say, well, you need to round to the closest whole number, what you're just talking about, which place value is going to be affected then? And of course, hopefully you're thinking the ones then, anything before the decimal.
Yep.
And let's think about, okay, here if I say, well, we need to round to the closest tenth, which place value is going to be affected? Well, it is going to be in the tenths place value. So
such an exciting video.
I know. Flames, love it. So just sort of a review and thinking about how that's going to look depending on what we're asking you to do.
And now we've got a little poem to help you remember the steps for solving the problem. And I'm going to treat these like the steps. So when we go through and actually solve them, we'll go through each of these lines in the poem to help you remember what to do. So these are the steps to solving, to rounding. So the first one, underline the digit, look next door. And I'm just going to read through them real quick, and then I'll give you an example in a second that you'll write down, and you will probably want to write these down. I promise it's not that much. It's not that much.
Definitely want
to. So underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or greater, add 1 more. If it's less than 5, leave it for sure. Everything after is a 0, not more. So these are the steps. I know I just talked through those really fast. Pause me, write them down. And we will use those to help us solve a rounding problem in just a second. So if you were given the number 0.73 or 73 hundredths, and you need to round it to the nearest tenth, we're going to follow, and these are just the steps again from that poem. So the first step, underline the digit, looks next door. So you saw Mrs. Van Dam, the ones that all went up into flames, like which one would you be concerned about? This one, if we're rounding to the nearest tenth, we would underline the digit in the tenths place. Then it says look next door. So we're looking to the door to the right. I would be looking at this 3. Okay, so I underline my digit, look next door, I look at the next number. If it's 5 or greater, add 1 more. So is a 3 greater than 5?
No.
Please say no. So now I'm going to continue on with the poem. If it's less than 5, leave it for sure. And when it says leave it, that means this number that's underlined. So since the 3 is less than 5, we're just going to leave that 7 alone. We're ignoring that part. Everything after is a 0, not more. So I can't leave this 3 there. If I wanted to add a 0 on, I could, because 0 is just a 0. It doesn't change the value of the number. So again, underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or greater, add 1 more. If it's less than 5, leave it for sure. So leave this alone. And then if you want to add a 0, you can. So now you get to try one, and you'll go over it.
Yeah. So pause, and now let's go over this. So here it says round 8 and 934 thousandths to the nearest whole number. So I want to think about our poem again and underline the digit that we're wanting to deal with. So the whole number, that's before the decimal. So we're looking here, and I should have underlined the 8, or that's what I'm thinking about. Now it says I have to look next door. So next door is this next number right here. If it's 5 or greater, add 1 more. And It is. So now I want to add one more. So instead of 8, now that is going to turn into a 9. And then everything after is a 0. Of course, though, you still want to add that decimal in this case. So the value is still 9 rather than 90. So that is what you should have gotten if you paused and tried this one on your own.
Yeah, and notice that like the 9, the 3, and the 4 are all gone now.
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about those.
Nope.
Gone.
I mean, this number could be hugely long. It could be infinite. It could be the pi, 3.14, blah, 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 blah. It goes on forever. And if it says to round to the nearest whole number, you would just be rounding to this number, and everything else would disappear.
Yep. All right, now you get a chance to try a few on your own. You're going to round to the nearest tenth, number these, round to the nearest hundredth, number those, round to the nearest whole number again, and here we go. So, once again, you have your poem to help you. So good luck, and we'll discuss those tomorrow.